So you've selected the right solution for Kubernetes at this point. Now what do you do? Well, first you have to handle the people inside of your organization. You have to get them organized. People are traditionally used to living in silos, having development and operations almost completely separated, especially in larger organizations. But that type of mentality is not going to fly in a Kubernetes world where development can impact operations and vice versa. So it is important that the operational communication patterns between dev and ops be resolved to create a true DevOps paradigm where things aren't just resolved strictly by automation and people are communicating about the types of changes they're going to make before they make them. Then you need to get security and compliance on board. This is a whole new endeavor and world for them, and they're going to have a lot of questions to be answered. As a part of those questions getting answered, they're going to be curious about what are the types of challenges they're going to face and how do you guys plan to actually address them. The next thing you're going to have to do is you're going to want to manage expectations with your leadership. People have an idea of what Kubernetes will do for them organizationally, whether it be cost of goods or speed or scalability. Whatever that use case or number of use cases may be, their expectations need to be level set not only with how quickly the tooling around this can be adopted, but what are the actual things that can be resolved given the application workloads you have. The last part is you're probably going to need to bring new people on board into your organization. So HR is going to need to be pulled into the conversation to figure out what kind of staffing changes you're going to need, from architect resources to individual engineers that will either be writing code that lives in Kubernetes or the operational engineers that will be managing and monitoring Kubernetes long term. Now, let's say for an second that you can't resolve those types of issues. What are you going to do? Well, first of all, you should at least plan around the 4 different things that we've just mentioned, making sure that you understand these are the types of goals you're going to have to achieve. But after all of that is said and done, you probably should be looking at consulting services for architect type resources and day 2 operations to at least mentor your engineers that you currently have and help get them over the line. The last thing is, by doing this, the real big nook and cranny is you need to avoid the Gartner hype cycle. Essentially what we're talking about is, if we're talking about visibility over time, people in the traditional world when it comes to Kubernetes have this big expectation where once they heard about the technology, they think, oh, it's going to solve all of our world's problems. And there's a lot of visibility around it. Everyone in the organization wants to be successful, and they think this is going to solve all of their problems they might be having today. Where over time, this expectation has a lot of disillusionment in a part of it. So with that disillusionment comes the reality check that this isn't necessarily going to magically change things. It's just going to enable you to make your technology solutions better. And with that, we want to avoid this peak and valley and get straight to the next segment, which is this productivity and being able to truly understand how the tool is going to be used and have true success with the tool over time. Making sure that those that are aware of what's actually being used for, that they look at this solution as something that has actually solved their problems and not created more heartache and pain. With that, I'm Derek Sutherland from Shadowsoft, and I hope you learned a lot today.